Howdy, and welcome to another wonderful Trash Take. So today I'm going to be talking about the ICE raids once more. For those of you who haven't heard, since Donald Trump has been president, it turns out the only thing we didn't need to fix the border was more legislation. We just needed better leadership, which is a banger line that he has dropped during his last address to Congress a few days ago, which is absolutely correct. All the Democrats said that the whole reason the border was bad is because we needed better legislation, but the reality of the fact was Joe Biden came in, signed some executive orders, destroyed our border, and then was trying to use that as a bargaining chip, I guess, to be re-elected or something. Kamala tried to do it to be re-elected too, and then Trump got in office, and turns out you just need the president to be the president to control the border, to put the military down there to stop the flow of illegals. And that's been something that's been absolutely fucking stupid to me. It seemed pretty cut and dry, but you know, people, they don't actually want to look at both sides objectively. They want to just take the side of whatever party they like to dick ride. So to each their own. If you think the border was not solved because of Trump, border crossings are down like 92% at the moment. I think it's pretty much, it's in a better state than it was. But with all those people that came into this country, believe it or not, being in this country illegally is a crime. I know some people came in and they might actually have some legal grounds to stay here, but there's still a lot of people that don't have legal grounds to stay here. Being here illegally is a crime, violating the national sovereignty of the country, which seems to be another weird thing where a bunch of leftists are like, there's no such thing as that. That's not illegal. Being a human being isn't illegal. Literally every fucking country on this planet has boundaries. How come America's the only one that's not allowed to have a boundary? How come when that boundary is violated, it's not illegal, but it is everywhere else? Like, stupid projects. The whole point of this is ICE has finally announced that they have caught the leakers. So for those of you who don't know, ICE has been doing raids to remove some of these illegal immigrants, people that they mainly have. They're like sex offenders, rapists, like some really heinous like crimes, basically leading up to murder. I think the murders are the whole thing. The issue is there's a bunch of places called sanctuary cities in America where basically you can just ignore every law known to mankind, and if you're a minority, or you're basically get a special tier of citizenship where the laws don't really apply to you. Look what's happening in New York. Look what's happening in California. ICE, though, has been given new command by Donald Trump to go in and get all these guys out of here. This is the best leadership they've had in a while, from what their own leader has said, that we finally have leadership that is giving us the resources and manpower to do what needs to be done. But now they're hitting issues with these sanctuary cities not turning over criminals that need to be removed from this country. So when they are going to remove criminals, they've also had this interesting thing where people are showing up with microphones screaming these people's rights of don't let them come in, do all this shit, like make sure the judge has signed the warrant, which has been kind of weird. How do these people know where to go? That's been the main question. It's leakers. There's literally activists that are working at these government agencies that are leaking documentation. And that's illegal as shit. You're being an activist on a government job, which is why I think government needs to be slashed across the board, because it's infiltrated with a bunch of fucking activists that don't really care about serving the government or serving leadership. They want to serve their own agenda. So that's what we're going to watch today. I saw a Fox little snippet of them talking about it on Twitter, and I managed to find a YouTube video, so I want to pull that up and watch to see what actually has some more information on it. Because from what I understand, they found out who they are, but I don't know if they're actually going to face charges, which I would assume is like fucking like close to treason, maybe. I genuinely don't know what kind of charges you could get for this. I'd be curious to see. That's what I want to do today. See what charges people that are leaking ICE raids would receive. Because I feel like it's pretty serious. But I do feel like this is a pretty serious crime. I don't know what it would be, but if you're like giving away, hey, the government's going to be here, you're making it a dangerous situation, especially if you're trying to move like the Trinidad Aragua gangs that are basically coming in, recruiting kids to do shit, and then absolutely fucking people up and like putting people at gunpoint. Look at Aurora, Colorado. People trying to say that didn't exist. There's literally fucking Ring camera footage of those people like knocking in a door with like AKs and shit. And that was the Trinidad Aragua gang. And those guys are armed. And if ICE is going to remove them and there are people outside screaming ICE is coming for a raid, you're going to make it bloody. You're going to get people killed. But let's watch.
Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem says that they have identified the leakers who exposed the locations of upcoming immigrations and custom enforcement raids. This is a big deal. And our Bill Malugin has got the details. Bill.
Yeah, John, good afternoon to you. Just a short time ago, DHS officials confirmed to Fox News they say they have identified 2 people within DHS who they say they have caught leaking information about ICE operations to different targets and then put those operations in jeopardy. We got a video from DHS Secretary Kristi Noem herself making this announcement, was just sent over to us. Take a look.
I think this is the one that was
Everyone, I wanted to give you a quick update. We have identified 2 leakers of information here at the Department of Homeland Security who have been telling individuals about our operations and putting law enforcement lives.
The Department of Homeland Security has leakers. The department that's supposed to be making sure that the American people are safe from outside threat has people leaking that information to the outside threat.
Jeopardy. We plan to prosecute these two individuals and hold them accountable for what they've done.
Thank fucking God.
And we're going to continue to do all that we can to keep America safe.
How do you prosecute them, though? Like, what's...
And a DHS spokesperson also sent us the following statement on record, which says, quote, "We are preparing to refer these perpetrators to the DOJ for felony prosecutions. These individuals face up to 10 years in federal prison. We will find it."
That's what I want to see, but what's the crime? What are they going to cite? Because I feel like just leaking it's kind of like treasonous to me. That's my first thought, is basically fucking treason, but that 10 years for treason sounds pretty fucking lightweight.
Root out all leakers. They will face prison time, and we will get justice for the American people. Now, to that point, we do want to point out that this is just a referral. It is ultimately going to be up to the Department of Justice on whether or not they want to move forward with prosecutions of these alleged leakers. You have to keep it.
Yeah, because they probably have to prove intent, because it's always, you got to prove intent. If you're just accidentally, like, negligent, whoopsie, I accidentally put the guy on CC to the email that we have the warrant signed to raid his house. Yeah, guys, it wasn't intentional. It was a whoopsie doopsies. Negligence, it's kind of not illegal to be negligent, and that's the issue there.
Keep in mind, these individuals, whoever they are, will also have due process, and they would have to be either found guilty or put in a guilty plea if we want to talk about any sort of prison time. But guys, this is obviously very significant. You're looking at video.
Innocent till proven guilty in the court of law.
From an ICE raid in Aurora, Colorado last month. I was on that operation. It failed. It leaked. There were media reports that the raid was coming days in advance. The same thing happened for an operation here in Los Angeles. Another operation.
Yeah, so these gang members are getting leaked from Department of Homeland Security where the fucking raids are coming. This is how the cartel, like, gets drugs across the border, smuggles guns back, and gets people killed. Like, this is how the cartel operates. People have infiltrated our government and are literally doing traitorous acts. Like, 10 years sounds fucking crazy to me.
In Virginia just leaked a few days ago. There was also another leak in Chicago. These leaks have been widespread. It has happened multiple times. They have seemed to be getting worse and worse. And we've seen people from the...
Well, they're getting worse and worse because they're probably a bunch of fucking retarded Redditors that seem to think that they can do whatever they want and face no repercussions for, like calling for constant death of politicians. Like, there's this big issue where people seem to think I'm doing what's right, so no matter what I do will be justified, and it's the means justify the ends kind of shit. So them absolutely doing this is going to eventually result in these gangs setting up like 30 pounds of C4 behind one of these doors, watching from afar, and then blowing up the entire fucking building when these guys go in. And that's going to be on their head. But they're too fucking stupid to see it because they got 20 IQ anyways.
Trump administration going on television saying that these leaks are putting ICE officers in jeopardy. It's putting the operations in jeopardy, and that they're going to track down, find these leakers, and prosecute them. And according to DHS and Secretary Noem, it appears they've taken the first step towards that process. Again, they say they've identified 2 people within DHS. That's important. They're within the Department of Homeland Security, so they're privy to this information, and they're going to seek to prosecute them. They'll send those...
I wonder if it's something... I wonder if it's going to be like one of those situations where this isn't a person that actually has power, but is just some, like, shit poster. Like, what was that? Not Catboy Ranch. What is the... Thug Shaker? Thug Shaker Central? Yeah, Thug Shaker Central. That's the Discord server where a guy that was in the Air Force, I believe, had remote access to the Pentagon's secure classified files, but he himself didn't have any classification guidance. But he was able to, from his networking position, actually look at the files. So he would arbitrarily leak them on 4chan to say, look at how much of an important individual I am. I'm so much better than you peasants. And they eventually figured out who it was. And they, like, fucking SEAL Team 6 raided his house. That shit was fucking hilarious. All because he had a Discord channel called Thug Shaker Central, where he would post classified leaks to prove how important he was, and everyone called him a fucking retard and didn't believe him anyways. Because that's what happens. Everyone says, oh, post the facts. And you post the facts, like, I don't fucking believe this. This just looks like made up shit. But meanwhile, you have people at the Pentagon sweating bullets like, who the fuck is leaking this shit? Which, I think this is a little more intentional than just some fucking kid with an ego issue, but we'll find out.
Referrals over to DOJ. DOJ will take a look at it. It will be up to DOJ to decide whether or not to move forward with any type of potential prosecution. But some breaking news here on this Friday for you guys, John.
All right, Bill Malugin for us with the breaking news update. Bill, thank you.
I wondered how long it would take for these people that are literally putting other people's lives in danger for their virtue signaling These people are in this country illegally. I would definitely suggest if you're in the country illegally, probably get out or do everything you can to become a citizen ASAP. I feel like it's one of those really common sense things of, hey, if you're in here illegally, you definitely are probably on thin ice to begin with. And I know most of the people that ICE is currently going after aren't just like random illegals. They're gang members. They're people that are committing crimes in sanctuary cities and are previous offenders. They are known by the government, but it's the government stopping the government from doing the government's job, surprisingly, because local jurisdiction and federal jurisdiction always have a battle of the dicks on when they want to arrest someone. So what they could do and what ICE wants is when these people are arrested for other crimes and they're found to be illegal, is then allow ICE to come to the detention facility and remove them from the country. But for some reason, in these virtue signaling sanctuary cities, they don't want that to happen. They'd rather have that catch and release program where there's no bail bonds that are allowed these people that have just maybe robbed someone at gunpoint to go back out and rob someone else at gunpoint until they accidentally shoot someone because they get scared, which happens. Anyone that gets killed from these, I fully believe you could make a good argument that it's the judge's fault, it's the city's fault, and it's everyone in the jail system's fault for letting these people back out. 100% could. Shit's crazy. People are dying in America that literally would not be dead if these illegals, if some of these illegal immigrants were not in this country. And yes, they are illegal immigrants. There is legal immigration. There is illegal immigration. Despite what Democrats say where they want to deport Elon Musk, a legal fucking immigrant, that makes no fucking sense. That's not how that works. You can't just deport a legal immigrant. You have to have I think once you're a legal immigrant, you basically here till your visa expires until you become citizenship. Now, if your visa expires and you stay here, that's where you start becoming an illegal immigrant, I'd say. But Elon Musk is definitely a fucking United States citizen, so you're not really deporting a United States citizen. That'd be some fucking interesting ass gymnastics to see how they'd run that in the court of law. But yeah, I feel like we're returning back to sanity, but we're still dealing with some insanity on the way, and this is fucking crazy to me that this shit's been happening. Any time that they're leaking these raids, they are fully asking for people to be posted up with guns waiting to start opening fire on fucking ICE agents or just fucking booby trapping the place. I would see that coming too. Why the fuck not? Though I know it's one of those things of once you kill a cop, you're going to have the entire United States Army basically hunting your ass down if you're in the United States. So you'd probably have the entire United States like task force trying to hunt your ass down. So it'd probably bring more heat either way. But they're playing with fire here. And it's only a matter of time till some animal gets back into a corner and decides to bite. And that's going to be another unnecessary death due to these leakers and due to retards in this country to begin with. Thank you guys very much for tuning in. If you liked the video, comment down below, subscribe to my channel. If you're going to post something about illegal immigrants or real people and I'm a retard, go ahead and save yourself the trouble. I'm just going to delete your comment. I'll be quite honest. There's a lot of crazy leftists nowadays, and I'm not even going to bother with you people. The common sense is now back. If you don't have common sense, I'm not going to interact with you. Good luck. See you in the next video. Until then, later.